Representing the other perspective of the universe, Bob Weiner, Democratic strategist, columnist, and former communications director for Clinton Drug Czar General Barry McCaffrey. He's also former chief of staff of the House Committee on Aging, as well as being a former communications director for both Congressman Rangel and Conyers of New York and Michigan, respectively. Bob Weiner, good to have you back.
It's good to be with you, Alan, but geez, yeah, it's true that with Gingrich you got the Tiffany's candidate of the child janitor. But with Romney, just today, he goes from corporations or people to let housing hit rock bottom to this is the worst that he just did today. Banks are feeling the same thing that you're feeling. Well, the banks are scared to death, of course, because they think that they're going to go out of business. For God's sakes, this guy has no touch with the common people. So the Republicans are really up the creek with the guys that they seem to have at the top of the pecking order.
Seems often forgotten about that. Indeed, he is the only candidate who's done consistently well in all three contests, or am I overstating it, Bob Weiner?
Well, let's make a little news here, Alan. You're absolutely right, except for the fact that the reason that Gingrich crashed in Iowa, where he was going to win, was Romney's super PAC money, which Gingrich then figured out and reversed it in South Carolina and got his own super PAC money. So now that Gingrich has figured out the Romney strategy, we are in World War II. To address Amy's point, it's not going to be on these big themes. The Republicans have no alternative to Obama's success in taking down bin Laden, Alaki, Gaddafi, or for that matter on domestic policy, where Obama reversed the Bush bleeding of 750,000 jobs a month, rescued the auto industry and the nation's financial institutions, and put the country back to 22 straight months of increased jobs and improved GDP. That's what this election is going to be about, the big issues.
Good to have you, too.
Good to be back, Alan, and the reason Romney didn't release his stuff and why he's trying to avoid it and still is only doing 1.5 years tomorrow is because he pays 15% maybe, and that he's got offshore accounts that he's getting money from.
It's not what the government says we may keep, but rather what we say the government may have.
Absolutely. We're in charge, and it's our money.
All right, Bob Weiner, would you accept that as a premise as well, or no?
Were it to be that we had that same rule for all the Bush tax cuts, which were off budget, but no, we never had offsets for those, Alan. Only for the ones that affect working Americans. So you cannot have a double standard like that.
What we say the government may have in taxes, is that baseline at least acceptable to you? Yes or no?
Well, because the polls are overwhelming, say that the rich shouldn't have the rate that they have. It should be more. And so the answer to your question is no.
So you say that it is the government. You think the default authority on taxes is what the government says we're permitted to keep.
That's what the Constitution says.
Versus,
the Constitution imposes the taxes, not the people.
Bob, to you, how will Obama juggle being held to his own standards and failing?
Well, you have to govern. As Gingrich told me on Social Security, he never saw an administration handle it worse than Bush did, and on the Ryan plan, calling it social engineering, and Romney switching on choice and health care. So you have actually three people, all of whom, when we're down to these final three, which we are, all of them know how to govern and will govern well no matter who's elected. So I'm an American, and I can say that with a straight face. But Obama's philosophy is the one that will equalize and actually balance the budget better so that we go back to productivity. We've had 22 straight months of job gains under Obama. We don't want to lose that by giving away the money to the rich.
Aren't these the kinds of profile
the bleeding of jobs when Bush left office, 750,000 a month, going in a few months, that Obama has reversed that bubble? You're really going to blame him for the Bush crash?